All righty. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, October 13th. Wanted to say, happy Wednesday. Hopefully you're having an amazing week. Today, what we're going to be talking about is something that just kind of happened. Been waiting to get these results in, and they're finally in, and it worked. And how we increased revenue overnight. And if everything holds, it'll be a minimum of $500 per month extra from just making one simple tweak. And it doesn't have to do with increasing the traffic on the website. So that's what we're going to be drilling into here today. This will be a podcast episode, so you guys know how it rolls. Once we get going here, I will kick this thing off. And I've got some bullet points here that I want to cover, share with you guys really what you can test, when to test it, but also that, this is the power of having something like a piece of digital real estate, and also being able to have something that doesn't have really a ceiling. So it's not something that is like a rental property that, you have a tenant in there and you can only increase the rent so much without them being like, are you kidding me? You're going to raise my rent $500 a month. You're crazy. But on a digital piece of real estate, we can do that. And it's cool. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Before we do get officially rocking and rolling, I want to make sure that we're good, make sure that we can see and hear. Also I did want to bring something up. I saw that Troy had popped in here. What's up, Troy? Today, for any of you that are in Brand Creators Academy, what we're going to be doing today is at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to go live inside of our private group, and I'm going to do 2 hot seat sessions. One of those is going to be for Troy. Troy is actually the one that we're going to do for you, Troy, is more of looking at an existing site that you've been building, looking at your competition, and seeing if we can actually compete. And that's what we're going to be kind of looking at. If there's anything else, Troy, that you need addressed on that call, just go ahead and shoot me a DM and let me know, and I'll try to dig into that. But I'm basically going to go over the niche and go over what you currently have, the competitors, and then we'll kind of see if you're going in the right direction. And I'm pretty sure that you probably have a good start. So we'll get rocking and rolling there. And then the other one I'm going to be doing is for another one of our students inside of the Academy, Jamie, who has started his niche property and kind of wants to see if everything looks good and if he's moving in the right direction. And then we'll kind of look for, little opportunities or little strategies maybe that we can tweak. So that'll be happening today. If you are not part of Brand Creators Academy, a couple things are happening right now. If you if you are already in niche properties and you have not, taken the Brand Creators Academy little 60-day support thing that we offered you, you can shoot me an email and I can send you over how you can be part of the Brand Creators Academy. If you are someone that has already shown interest, you should have gotten an email yesterday that I'm doing something pretty cool, but it's only for a few days. So I'm just going to leave it at that, because those of you that are on a certain list of people that are very, very interested would have gotten that. But if you are interested in joining Brand Creators Academy, you want to be part of these calls, then the way that you would do that right now is you would go to niche properties. So you'd go buildnicheproperties.com. That's it. I should probably put that banner up there. It is this one right here, buildnicheproperties.com. And then you would just select the 60-day support option for Brand Creators Academy. And then you'll have access to this hot seat, the future hot seats, all of our trainings, niche properties, everything that's inside. So if you're interested, go to buildnicheproperties.com. We are going to be doing that today at 12, which is going to be in under 2 hours. So if you want to be there live, you'd have to get in now. If you are watching this later and you want to watch that call, we're going to be putting it inside of the members portal. So you'll be able to watch it later on top of all of the other ones that we've already currently done. All right. So let's see here. What up, Alejandro? Nicholas, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's a great day to take action. Isn't it though? Isn't it really a good day to take action? I think it is. All right. Everybody says you're good. What's up, Gio? Good to see you. Aldo, what is up? What is up? Scooby Life. Awesome. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and let's kick this thing off. All right. I'm going to go ahead and officially kick this thing off. I'm super excited to be able to share this with you guys too, because this is exciting. All right. So here we go. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast and of our coffee talks. So if you are watching this right now, you are with me on the coffee talk. If you're listening to this right now, you are on the podcast. And I want to thank you for being a listener. But here's what we're going to do today. Today, I'm excited because I'm going to show you or share with you, if you're listening, you're not going to be able to see anything, but you're going to be able to listen to what has recently happened with one of our niche properties and how we increased revenue overnight. And if everything holds, it'll be a minimum of a $500 per month increase. Okay. Increase from doing nothing other than this one thing. All right. We did not increase traffic. Traffic stays the same. If it goes up, though, the 500 will go higher. But this is just one little tweak that we did with the existing traffic on this one niche property. Okay. And I'm going to share that with you here today. All right. And so what I probably should say here, a couple things, is if you are a brand new listener and you're like, Scott, I don't know what these niche properties things are. Basically a piece of digital real estate. Is basically what it is. And I'll explain a little bit more here in a second, just so we kind of get everybody caught up. But what it basically is a piece of digital real estate. All right. And if you want more information on that, if you want to see what it is all about, head on over to buildnicheproperties.com. Again, that's buildnicheproperties.com. And for any of my UK friends over there or anyone from other places in the world that pronounce it niche, then it would be buildnicheproperties.com. But I'm going to say buildnicheproperties.com because that's how I say it. All right. So let's get rocking and rolling here. So number one, this is why I love these niche properties, because there's no ceiling. Okay. There's no ceiling to what we can grow this. Okay. I want you to think about this for a second. Let's say that you have a typical traditional piece of real estate. Okay. And you rent it out for, let's just say $1,000 per month. That's what the rent's going to be. You get a tenant. Now, what would happen if you decided 3 months in, you're like, you know what? I want to raise their rent. I'm going to raise it to $500 or I'm going to raise it $500 more. I'm going to make it $1,500. What do you think that they would do? They would probably say, you're out of your mind. I'm not paying that. Right. And because it's such a drastic, like no one does that. If anything, you might get away with saying, we have to raise your rent $50 because taxes went up, whatever. You probably would wait on a yearly basis to raise rents. But even if you waited a year and you said, we're going to raise your rent 500, that's kind of outrageous. You would never do that. You could raise it $50, $100 and probably get away with it. And you would have an excuse, because a lot of times there is rising costs and stuff. But you would never just randomly do that. The cool thing with digital real estate is we have this website that's getting traffic. And if we find different ways or different resources to increase the revenue, the traffic doesn't care, right? The traffic coming to the site is the traffic coming to the site. All right. So let me kind of break this down. There's two primary components for niche properties. You may or may not already know this, but I'm going to just, again, remind you of what they are. It's very, very simple. One is traffic. Two is monetization. That is it. Okay. We need to get the traffic. The way that we do that is usually through informational content. Okay. Type of posts and articles that we post on the website over time. It brings traffic. The traffic comes, consumes the content. They get what they're coming for. But now the monetization is where then you would make money. So yes, you can have products of your own on that website, okay, that people would buy, but then you have to hopefully get some of those people to buy something. An easier way is using what we call display ads, Okay. And you've probably seen these on other sites where you go to a site and you see these ads that are being populated throughout the content. So you're just scrolling and you see an ad, but you scroll past it, you see an ad, you scroll past it, you see an ad, or maybe it's on the sidebar, whatever. You are not, as a viewer of that piece of content, you are not paying. Okay. You are not clicking. All you're doing is consuming content, but that ad is being displayed in front of you. So an advertiser is willing to pay for that view. Okay. So it's basically per impression. Okay. And there's different ad networks out there. Okay. So there's AdSense. I have not used AdSense in years, and I would probably not use AdSense because you have to get approved through Google ad or the ad network and all of that stuff. And a lot of people say it's just a pain in the butt. And honestly, for what you make, to me, it's not worth the hassle. What I would do is I would use a network called Ezoic, and Ezoic just lifted their minimum. Their minimum is it was 10,000 page views. Now they've made it where there is no minimum. Okay, it's 0. Now, with that being said, you're going to have less quality ad, placements. So you're going to probably make less, but it's still going to be more probably than AdSense. But it also allows you to start getting some revenue coming in the door as soon as possible. I usually tell all my students to wait at least until they get about 5,000 page views per month. That way we can just get some momentum and everything going. So what I would recommend, again, right here, is once you get that traffic, put Ezoic on it once you get to like 5,000 page views. Now, we have used Ezoic. Okay. Now, there's other ad networks out there, and that's what I'm going to be talking about here in a second, because this can make a big, big difference. I'll give you a couple examples. So, like I said, Ezoic, they have a premium side of their ad platform, and they also have just a basic, right? They have different tiers. That's how they work theirs. I have had not very good luck with them approving any of our sites to get the better ad placements. So I can't speak to like what it is. I think we were at like a level 2, and I think it goes to a level 4. Okay. But what I will tell you this, and this has happened twice now for 2 of our niche properties. One was on Ezoic making around $5 on a good day per 1,000 visitors. Okay, so for every 1,000 visitors, we were getting paid $5. Okay, now that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you get 50,000, 75,000, 100,000 people, that can add up, right? But still $5. So anyone that's brand new, just telling you, that's very low. Okay, you should be aiming for right out of the gate anywhere between, I would say, $13 and $15 at a baseline, at a minimum, nothing less than that. If you're getting less than that, it's probably just not either the niche doesn't pay that much, or it's just a bad network, okay, of advertisers. And that's exactly what happened. So we took that same site. Once we got it to 50,000, because with Mediavine, you need to have 50,000 sessions, which basically equates to around 60 to 70,000 page views, depending on people, how long they stay on and all of that stuff. We won't get into that, but they go by sessions. So really it's about 60,000, let's call it 60,000 page views. So it takes a little bit of time to get there. So Ezoic is good for a filler, but then once you get to a certain level, you want to test out other ad networks. And the next one up from that is AdThrive. I'll talk about that here in a second. So we switched, this was probably about 6-7 months ago now on that one. And we instantly went from $5 to $15 to $25 to now we're hovering between I would say $22 and $30. If we would have stayed on that one platform, look at all of the money we would have lost. I mean, if you're making on 50,000 page views, $250, you immediately went to $1,000 per month, right? But that's not the one I'm talking about. That one there was 6 months ago, and that's still doing well, very, very well. So this most recent one, we had to wait until we got to the 60,000 page views, which we have. And so now we've been running Ezoic, and they've been doing better than the one before. We were averaging around $16 to $17 per 1,000. So better, right? It's better. But were we still not getting what we should have been getting? Well, This is where the most recent tweak came in the most recent test. We applied for Mediavine, and it took probably around 3 weeks to get approved. Okay. They have to go through, look at your site, make sure that it's running well, make sure that the content is what they want for their advertisers. It's very, very kind of like thorough. They go through it to make sure that they're not putting ads on crappy sites. Okay. And so we finally got approved. And within the first official day that we were live, we literally we went from $17, let's call it $17 average, to $27. And actually yesterday was approaching $30. Okay. So if you look at the math, okay, and if you just look at, okay, let's say that we just increased it by $10, 50,000 page views, that's $500. Okay. Let me go back and say that one more time. Same traffic was at $17 per thousand, went over and switched to Mediavine, added an additional $10 per thousand, 50,000 page views. Do the math. Okay. It adds up. Okay. So you need to understand that one little thing increased revenue pretty much overnight. Okay. Once everything got approved and all of that stuff, we're instantly able to see that. And right now the signs are showing that it's going to even go up from there. So it could be 600, it could be 700. That's if the traffic does not increase. Now, the cool thing is we're working on increasing traffic all the time. We're adding new content every single week. We're optimizing older content. And so as we increase that, if we go from 50,000, which we're on our way now going more than that, get to 75,000, then 100,000. Now we've taken that $500 as a bonus, and now it's $1,000 of a bonus or $1,500 of a bonus on top of what it's already been earning, right? And so my point on what I was talking about in the very, very beginning was, how could you do this with rental property? How could you increase your revenue on rental property? Well, one way you could do it is you could turn it into a short-term rental, okay? And that is where I have a short-term rental, a lake house, which is amazing, by the way. But that property is right now, to buy another one and get it to where this one is, would cost about $1.5 million. I'm not right now wanting to go out there and overpay for a house and get everything and renovate it for 4 to 5 months and do all that stuff right now. I'm not in the position to do it. I don't want to do it. But on a short-term rental, you can get more than you could as a long-term rental. We all know that. But the other thing then you have to ask yourself was, well, you can't just rent your house out to anyone. You have to be in a good location. You have to be where people are coming. And are people going to a certain park? Are people visiting a certain town? Whatever. You got to figure all that stuff out. Buy the property in that place, get it ready, and do the short-term rental thing, which is fine. It's good. I'm a fan. And actually, I'm considering doing another one, possibly in Asheville, or there's a couple other areas. There's another one I'm thinking about in Arizona, but they have to be in a certain location. Okay. But that's a whole nother animal. Okay. A whole nother animal. And it takes a lot more time. You get this thing up and running. Like I have 6 of them being built right now. 2 of them are in the 2-year phase. I have one that is in the about a year and a half in. I have another one that is just being built 2 of them that are just being built as we speak. So I have new properties being built. I got old ones that I'm building bigger, and I'm going to be leveraging and doing all of that stuff. So what it comes down to is the digital real estate thing. It gives us a lot more options that we can do quicker, and there's less risk. Right? Because if we go and we buy a rental property, we got to go get that mortgage. Okay. We have to make sure that we can rent it out. We have to deal with getting it ready. We have to deal with tenants. If we do short-term rental, we have to have a cleaning crew. We have to have maintenance crews. We have to have people collecting the money. It's not just like you get an Airbnb and you set it up and you put it on Airbnb. It's not that simple, right? You got all these other moving parts that have to happen as well, right? With this here, we build a little niche property, our digital real estate, right? In a niche that we know is going to do well. and it has potential. We go through all of that stuff in our niche properties training. And once we get it built, then we're just working on getting traffic. And then once we get the traffic, we turn on the ad networks. Then the money starts coming in. We start collecting the rent checks, right? And that's how it works. So if you are listening to this and you do have some if you have 5,000 page views right now on your website, I would go and try Ezoic. I would just go put it on there. I've watched other people have really good success with Ezoic. I just haven't. I have not had anything that was just like great. But I've seen other sites that have. It's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. Collecting $250 a month versus nothing is better, right? But once you get to that level and you are getting 50, 60,000 page views, I would then go and look into Mediavine. Okay. Now, to take it a step further, because all of these ad networks also are competing with each other. Ezoic is trying to compete with Mediavine and AdThrive, and Mediavine is trying to go with Ezoic and AdThrive, and they're all saying they're better, right? Which is good for us because that means that we have more options, right? So my daughter has a website that she's been building for about 3 years. They've crossed 100,000 page views. I think it's like 115,000 the last she told me. And so she was on Mediavine doing well. And now AdThrive is basically saying that they will beat guaranteed Mediavine by 20% of what she's making. So now she has the traffic, right? And these display ad networks are competing for her business. Okay. And that's what happens. And I mean, a matter of taking something that's $1,000 earning per month to $2,000 earning per month doubles the evaluation on that piece of real estate as well, that digital real estate. Give you an example. Let's say that the site right now is earning $1,000 net per month. Generally, you're going to be, I mean, right now they're kind of even going up, but let's just say it's definitely between 38 and like 45 multiple, okay, per net. Okay. So let's just say $1,000, keep it easy. $1,000, 40x is the multiple. That's $40,000. What happens if we increase that $1,000 per month to $2,000 per month? What happens to the evaluation? Still the 40x times 2. Now we're at $80,000. So we can sell that piece of digital real estate double of what we could have gotten before just by maybe switching an ad network. Because if those numbers increase, the evaluation of 40x stays the same, everything else increases, right? So keep that in mind while you're building these niche properties and these digital pieces of real estate, because that's really what we can do here. And the cool thing is if you want to get into the short-term rental and you want to buy an Airbnb property and you don't have the money right now, here's something you could do. Build one of these niche properties, get it up to $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 per month, sell it. Use that money, buy a short-term rental then, if that's what you want to do, right? There's all kinds of options that we can do, but this is a great vehicle for you to start creating a piece of real estate online that people are willing to pay for and buy, or you can just keep it as a rental property. Totally up to you. All right. So that's the thing I wanted to share with you on how we increased revenue overnight. It is literally crazy that all we did was switched ad networks and immediately saw a lift, an immediate lift. And it's been running now for almost a week. And like I said, we are consistently higher. And I think the $10 per thousand being higher is actually more like 12, but I don't want to say as of yet. But we'll know more after the 30 days. But right now, it's looking really, really good. All right. And I just wanted to share that with you because number one, I think for anyone that's just getting started, you need to understand that this is the potential. This is what we can do with these niche properties. And the other thing is that we didn't even talk about is there's still more room for maybe a different affiliate program and that pays more, maybe a digital product of your own, or maybe a digital product on ClickBank, or maybe it's a sponsorship that you're going to reach out to someone that's in that niche that wants to get in front of your people, your website, and maybe you charge them $500 a month or $1,000 a month. You're basically a media company at that time. Okay. And people are going to want to get in front of that. So there's a lot of options to grow this and to add more revenue to the bottom line. And one way that we did it that I shared with you here today was just switching to a different ad network, and that was Mediavine. All right. And so far we've got 2 on Mediavine, and I have to say, like, their support has been great. Their dashboard is so easy to navigate, and they just seem like they're a really, really good company. All right. I have been with AdThrive before, but my partner was more or less dealing and managing with them, and she has for years. We've had good results with them too. They normally pay higher as well. But Mediavine and them are kind of like neck and neck, in my opinion. Because the site that we sold about a year and a half, 2 years ago, about a year and a half, that was averaging around, I believe it was around $22 to $27 per RPM, which is basically your per thousand. So it's right about there. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you guys here today on this episode. If you are interested in building your own niche property and you want to be walked through exactly how to do it, how to find your niche, how to validate it, make sure that it's got potential, how to set everything up, build your website, all of that stuff, which actually we have some training that walks you through it in under 30 minutes. And then from there, how to build content that's going to attract the right people and the right amount of traffic, and how to monetize and all of that stuff. We teach all of that inside of our niche properties training, and you can get access to that by heading over to buildnicheproperties.com. Again, that's buildnicheproperties.com. You can get all the details over there. So guys, once again, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Take care, take action, have an awesome, amazing day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cut. All right, guys. You guys got any questions quick? Let's see. Okay, cool. This is a good one. How do you verify the accuracy of information we post in the website? Do you have a process that help you make sure you give the highest quality info? Well, basically, when you're looking for your writers, you want to make sure that they're doing thorough research. And again, if this is more of a medical or more of a, this could harm someone, then I would probably lean against even going in that market. If it's things like, can you grow palm trees in South Carolina, right? No one's going to get hurt with that, right? So you have to be smart on that. But I would say on any of that stuff, you just want to make sure you have good writers that are doing good research. I mean, think about if you have a student in school and you give them a assignment to do research on, they got to do research and they got to pull it from certain resources. So I would say just make sure that you get a good writer that can do that research. Oh, cool. Kristen says, so excited to hear this. Just went live with media been a week ago. Cool. That's awesome. I would love to hear what your experience has been, Kristen. That's awesome though. Congrats. Should you use AdThrive on a new content site that is just building an audience? Well, AdThrive, you're only going to get on there, Geo, with 100,000 page views, by the way. So you may need to tier up to that. But I would try them. But it wouldn't be a new content site. It's that's just building an audience. Yeah, I mean, an audience is people, right? People. So if you want to earn money from an ad network, an ad display, or a display ad network, then you have to just turn on that ad network. Let's see. Giselle says, this is so exciting. It is. It is. Okay, Alpondra, where do we monitor page views on Google Sitekit? It shows sessions. Is that similar? Yeah, sessions is actually the true number of like unique people, right? Page views means that one person could have went to 2 or 3 pages. You still can get paid for those pages though, by the way, but the way that they base off their payment style depends. I know that Mediavine is sessions, but they also give you the page view. So the page view session that I gave you guys was actually the lower. So technically it was like, I think I said it was like $10 more. If you looked at the sessions, it's actually a little bit more. Yeah, and Troy just kind of echoed what I said, and he was saying basically the same thing. That's where a good writer comes into play. If you're outsourcing your content, it took me some trial and error to find some writers, but now have 100% confidence in my writer. Communication is key. Something I did was give them some of my competitors' websites to use as motivation as resources. That's a good idea. Yeah. And Gio says, I forget which ad networks works with new content sites. That's Ezoic, or AdSense. I would start with Ezoic though. I just really wish that Ezoic, I just wish that their communications was better. I have not had good luck with their support. And if someone is watching this, or if this gets picked up by Ezoic and they are like trying to monitor like what people are saying, I would say that Ezoic, their communications is not that great, and they basically, to get turned on for the premium ad network, they just basically say it's by invite only, and we'll let you know if you're invited. But not like looking at the quality of a site and going like, you've been with us for a year, we'll go ahead and look into your site. They don't even do that. So I'm sure that I could, if I said, hey, my name's Scott Voker, I run a podcast, blah, 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 I'd probably be able to. I know I could probably reach out to other people in the industry that I know, but I don't want to pull that. I want it to be as if it was just the regular Joe, sitting on the sidelines going, hey, I want to run your ads. Okay, what if information about food recipes? Is it safe to assume 80-20 rule of determining the essentials of the recipe to make it work? If the info is about recipes, especially bocage, I don't know what that is. I'm doing all work on myself, no outsourcing. Well, just make sure that you're doing the best that you can to do good research. And then you might even want to link to the resources that you're pulling from. That way there, it's kind of like you're just reporting, but the resources came from here. It's another way that you could cover yourself. Is it advisable to put ads on a new website? Not until you get to, and this is just personal preference, I would wait until I hit 5,000 page views, okay, a month. And the reason why is because ads will slow your site down a little bit, okay? Not much, but a little bit, depending on the network. I want to get traffic first. The only thing I'm focusing on in the very beginning is getting traffic. And the way to do that is to make sure that you're not putting anything in the way of Google indexing your content. So that's why I would keep it clean and then just keep building until you hit a certain threshold. You can do it at 3,000 page views if you want, 2,000, whatever you want to do. I use 5,000 as a benchmark. That's where I want to hit. Once I hit that, we'll turn on ads. So hopefully that helped. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up. Like I did say earlier, I got to get running here. We got a busy day here at the Voker House. Number one, I've got a hot seat session that I'm going to be doing here in an hour and a half for our Brand Creators Academy. If you're part of our private Facebook group over there in the Brand Creators Academy community, I'll be going live at 12 o'clock to do 2 student hot seat sessions. If you're not part of our Brand Creators Academy, well, there's something that you can do right now to be part of that. And at this time, if you go to buildnicheproperties.com, if you go there, click on the button to go over to enroll, and you'll have an option there to join BCA. Go ahead, BCA, Brand Creators Academy. Click that, hit complete, you'll be in, okay? And then you'll have access to the private group and all of the resources and Niche Properties class. All right. So guys, I got to run. This was awesome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here today. I will be back Friday for our Friday jam session. And until then, get out there, make it happen. Take care, take action. I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.